See, I even did this. I keep forgetting. Sorry, I think my husband's baking coffee. Good morning, everyone. As you guys come in, if you could go to your Google form, there is a different question for each day this week. There's Heather. Good morning, Heather. How was your Thanksgiving?
It's all right.
Good?
It was good. Yeah.
Morning. What about the rest of you?
Mine was okay. I didn't really do anything other than having I had a science Olympiad tournament on Saturday.
Oh,
Other than that, I didn't really do anything for Thanksgiving.
so they having like the virtual tournament, or what are they doing?
Yeah, it's a virtual tournament. They have like it's like a browser that pretty much so that people don't cheat and stuff. It tracks what you do on your laptop while you have that browser open, and that's basically where you take the test. And it's just there's no, well, for one of the tournaments there was a camera that you put, or you had to put a camera right next to you and then like one in front of you and stuff. But this one is not. It wasn't the case. So it's mainly just like a glorified Google form, I guess.
Who hosted it, or who's the official school?
I'm not sure the official's name, but it was Iolani. I think it's a high school in Hawaii.
Oh, wow.
I'm not 100% sure though.
Cool. What about the rest of you? How was your Thanksgiving, Madison?
It was fun. We went to Sun River and stayed there for the weekend.
Oh, was it nice, like sunny? Or
It was sunny, but it was very snowy. So there was a lot of snow and ice.
I was going to say, this time of year, I keep forgetting that this time of year starts to get icy and snow everywhere. Isla did homework in robotics and got to Zoom. Oh yeah, I forgot about that. My family did try to Zoom as well. We were in a vehicle when the Zoom was happening, but that was interesting and fun. The mother's pretty good at it. My dad, not so much. We saw him briefly. His face appeared about 20 minutes after everybody else had come on, and then he disappeared again. So he has some struggles. Right. So as you guys are coming on here, make sure you go do that day one, or actually it's day two. Day two question on your Google form. There is a question each day, and I know the first three have to do with concepts. So yesterday was a question about edge effects. So I was reading those last night, and I just want to make sure that we're understanding that an edge effect is what's going on, right, where we have two ecosystems. Usually it has to do with deforestation or preserving habitat. But the idea at the actual edge, right, is we have niches in this one environment, but like the forest, and we have another set of niches where there was a clear cut, and that in the overlap of the two, we might have more niches available. But just looking at what's going on those edges and how to minimize some of the impacts where the edge might be things that lower your diversity as well. So looking at the size of preserves that'll best minimize some of the edge effects. Just reading some of your guys' comments. And then today is resilience versus resistance. And then tomorrow is explaining what you think about the intermediate disturbance hypothesis. And then, since it's working today, we are going to do, so this week, first of all, our targets are, there's Vivian, yay. Our targets are to be able to name all 5 layers of the atmosphere and kind of tell me about what's going on in each layer. So something, you know, some brief description of each layer. And then the factors that cause unequal heating of the earth. Some review of your middle school about seasons and temperatures, and this kind of spinning and tilt of the earth around the sun. And we're going to look at air currents as well as ocean currents. Your tasks, learning check on the Google Forms, your whiteboard practice or Pear Deck practice, and Launchpad. So continue to use Launchpad to review and refresh on all the targets for Chapter 4. Your success, share your team design and start individual buildings of your compost systems. Use a Flipgrid to share on the doing, meaning you are just filming yourself actually making it and putting things into it this week. And then earn a 5 or better on your FRQ. I want to talk briefly about that so I don't forget. So I keep trying to explain to students that when I grade these for the nation, we usually fly to Cincinnati, and we will grade thousands of these a day. So we grade them in stacks of about 25. Every 20 minutes or so I go through a stack. And in an entire week of doing this for 7 days for 8 hours, we will maybe give 3 or 4 10s. So when I'm seeing 8, 9s, and 10s, then I'm a little concerned about your approach to it, because this is full credit as long as you really try it out of your own brain first and then look at the key and reflect on it. So I don't care if you get a 2 out of 10 or 4 out of 10. I do care though that you go back and try to learn from it, and then the next time keep improving, especially as we do these math ones. Math ones always tend to be a challenge, and the worst thing you can do is wait till May to have to use your own brain and panic and then leave it blank. Okay, so that is why we do this. We practice it, struggle through it. Oh, and then the other thing I forgot to tell first, but I remember the third, and I remember with you guys, on the math ones, that nation's average is usually about a 3 or 4 out of 10. So 3 or 4 out of 10 is usually passing. So remember that this is done on on a curve. And so they take all the nation scores and they set up a curve, and then they chop it and figure out the 5s, 4s, and 3s. So when you're getting a 10, that tells me that you're putting yourself in that top 0.3% or whatever that I might ever see. So make sure that you really are engaging your brain and trying it yourself. All right, that's my talk for the day on that. So try to earn a 5 or better on the FRQs. Answer embedded questions in your ed puzzles correctly 90% of the time. So the other thing I noticed when I was grading this weekend is when people put IDK as an answer, you live in the age of Google. Look it up. Okay, don't tell me I don't know. If you don't know, there's a problem. So if you missed it during the video when you were watching it, then you just look it up, okay, and figure it out. But IDK will not get you any points. So make sure that you actually answer all those embedded questions. And then number 4, evidence of growth on your whiteboards and your Pear Deck. And we're going to practice that today. So today we're doing the Google form. So make sure you went and answered question 1 and 2 on edge effects and resilience and resistance. And then we're going to do Pear Deck for about 20 minutes. So my timer is going to let me know, and then we'll have some composting work time. Your on-demand day was 20 minutes as well on the Pear Deck. And then picking 2 to 3 ed puzzles. I said 2 to 3 because I struggle visualizing El Nino, Southern Oscillation. So I struggle with some of these bigger earth science concepts. My background is actually in molecular and cellular biology and genetics, which are the little tiny invisible things in life, and viruses and bacteria. So these big global things, I have to keep going back to them. I have to keep studying them and looking at them. So if you need extra practice, I put a ton of different options of these global things for you to visualize. And you have to kind of decide what you're struggling with and what you're not in chapter 4. Your FRQ is on 2002 question number 4. Next week, I'm going to give you another math one. And it's going to be, again, about conversions and e-waste. So I also gave you a ed puzzle that's on e-waste, just for the content part of it. So remember that math is always going to have about 3 or 4 basic kind of math conversions to do. But some of the points are also going to have content that you're applying. So we'll try that again next week on that. And then your live session, we're going to do a see, think, and wonder. Your see, think, and wonder this week, if you do any of them and try them yourself, is bonus lab points or extra lab points. So let's try this. I'm going to share a different screen with you. So when you're doing these lessons and you're clicking on them, the ones that I'm going to show you on on-demand days are the ones that I have selected over here that say student paced. And that's just you going through them and practicing them for 20 minutes. Today, we're going to do real time, which is instructor paced, to see how we're doing on these. I gotta move you guys. You guys just moved off my screen. All right, so it's generating a code, but I'm also gonna put a link. Oh, it's being difficult. Get Gavin in there. Let me send you the link. All right, and then I'm going to open my dashboard so I can see all your responses as well. Remember that this is set for anonymous in terms of when I share things with all of you. But for me, at the end of the lesson, I get a spreadsheet and I can see while we're doing this, how you're doing. So for example, I had a couple seniors yesterday whose names were appearing, but they were not actually participating. So I immediately contacted parents with my concerns about their technical difficulties and let me know if there's something going wrong with their internet connection. And I can guarantee that every time I have done this now for a couple weeks, how many internet connections problems were there? There were 0. Mom and dad said, what? So please participate. This is my only way to see how you're thinking and you're doing. Because otherwise I'm going to reach out to a parent and say, please help me. I cannot wander around the classroom and look at what they're doing. You can, or you can at least check for me, and I really need your support. So if you did have technical difficulties yesterday or some other time, that is a whole different issue, and that's fine. But this is a consistent pattern that I'll be seeing when I email a parent. All right, let's try this. Again, the first page is always the links to whole lessons that are based on the same textbook as yours. And our targets are always the next part. So all I want to do today is kind of look at where we're at now with one of the harder targets, which is ENSO, El Nino Southern Oscillation Event. So this is that sliding number scale. You feel like you could teach it in an original creative way to someone else, you are 4. If you feel like you're proficient at it and you'll be able to answer whiteboard questions and Kahoots and quizzes, you're a 3. If you feel like you're developing and need more practice, you're a 2. And if you didn't know we were going to study El Nino Southern Oscillation Event and Global Climate Change chapter, then you're a 1. And so what I am seeing is something that looks like this. Okay, at the start of this chapter. Okay, there's no 5s. All right, it's a scale of 1 to 4. All right, let's move on. So the next one, target 8, interpreting climate diagrams are called climatograms. And one of the ways that we will do our biomes is with the book creator, because this is memorizing what they're called, the animal and plant adaptations that are associated with each, and then knowing about these climate diagrams. And one of the questions they like to give you guys is a diagram and ask you to identify which biome it matches to. And I'll show you one particular diagram that's helpful. Okay, you guys are completely throwing this off now. I don't think well, I can't even tell. I mean, I can when I look at your spreadsheet, but let's move on. All right, this part I was leaving for your on-demand day. So I will be looking at the work that you did yesterday, but by Sunday on the case study. And I added in a picture and stuff that I researched about growing grapes to make fine wine. So I'm gonna leave it at that, but we all live right here where we see a lot of purple, right? We live, if you ever drive to Eastern Washington, you will pass winery after winery. So we are at this climate that is necessary, but I thought it was interesting to look at what actually grapes need. And it's very limited specific conditions. And it'll be interesting to see with global climate change how much this shifts and changes. All right, so name this global process. This one, of course, is just typing it in. We're looking at averages and trends. And then what I'm seeing, oh, you guys got, it was a multiple choice one. So we're seeing this, which is climate. Weather is what's happening on a daily basis. So that is climate. All right, and this is target one. So what are the first two layers of the Earth's atmosphere? And then what is that substance that absorbs most of the sun's UVB rays? B is the burning rays, so the thing that causes skin cancer and cataracts. UVA is for aging rays. This is how I teach it for anatomy and physiology. So, and we have UVC. So this particular layer, this chemical, blocks most of the UVB and all of the UVC. So they have different energies. So A still gets through. So a really cool Google image to do, at least in my opinion, is to look up truck driver exposure to UV, because he exposed just half of his face for like 30 years as the sun came through his window. So he got aging damage, right? So he damaged the collagen under his skin, and you can see half his face with wrinkles and half with considerably less wrinkles. And it's kind of cool to see the what you're doing if you don't wear your sunscreen to your face. Okay, so B is burning, and this particular thing allows us to be protected from it. And I see troposphere, stratosphere, and ozone. Good. And ozone is O3. And there's good ozone and bad ozone. We'll talk about the bad ozone that's in the troposphere when we get to the air pollution chapter. All right. This next one actually has all three layers, is the subtitle. So if you could name all three of the next ones, I believe, oh, it's a multiple choice. So I messed up on this one in terms of putting a multiple choice. I bet the multiple choice answer is the next one after troposphere, stratosphere, then what? So what's next? So this one, I'm seeing a lot of different answers. Now I'm seeing changes. I kind of like this because I do get, especially the flag features. All right, so I see most of you changing it to mesosphere. Okay, so it goes mesosphere, thermosphere, exosphere. But what I wanted, and if you're interested in what causes this northern lights, there's a little clip I hyperlinked there. All right, but this is the image that we practice so that you have a visual in your head of the different layers, where the ozone shows up, and then a zigzag line. Because you have your own past personal experience already of what happens as you climb up a mountain in the troposphere. So if you look right here on this y-axis, you've got altitude in kilometers. Okay, so we're going away from the surface. And down at the bottom should be temperature. So somebody unmute. What happens to the temperature when you go up a mountain?
It decreases.
It decreases. So that tells you what direction to start your line. And then it's going to kind of zigzag. So I just want to make sure that you can create that image in your head and that you've practiced it. on this slide when you turn it in. And so I can see I don't know why I can't see you guys. In anatomy, I could see this, so maybe it's saving it somewhere else, but because it says 13 of you responded. So all you're doing is labeling each one of these little colored regions as layers of the atmosphere. And then you are drawing a line that represents your general changes in temperature. And then you're also identifying where the ozone shows up in the layers. Let's see if I can see anything yet. No. "26 of 28 of you." Okay. So this is kind of the look to it. And again, if you start down here in the troposphere, we know that the temperature goes down and then it kind of just zigzags. So if you can kind of get a visual of this in your mind, makes it a little easier to remember. They ask you questions about these layers and what's going on with temperature in them and where the ozone shows up. All right, 5 things that cause the Earth's weather and climate. Name 3 of the 5 discussed in your text. So what are 5 things that cause the Earth's weather and climate? Good, I see Isla and Chivin and Mia. Jason's not letting you answer. Might just be slow, give it a second. Yeah, it's just because a lot of people are all on it at once. I see you guys each showing up. Emilio, Tommy, Vincent, Jason, Addis, Ashley. So what are 3 of the 5 things? This is one of your targets for this week. As people put those, I don't want to forget, you do need to renumber or put your number in front of your name again today so I can get you into your composting groups quickly. Right, another couple seconds, and I see 26 of 28 of you. Oh wait, that's right, I have the ability to check who. Okay, so 2 of you have not responded. One of you now have not responded. It's really slow. All right, so let's look. So I saw several of you put unequal heating of the Earth. Oh, I should go back and show you guys what you wrote. So Earth's rotation, Earth's orbit, unequal heating, angle of sunlight, Earth's tilt, albedo. Good. We're going to talk about albedo. Global conveyor belts, ocean currents, Earth's tilt, greenhouse gases, reflective surfaces, right? That's at albedo. Unequal, that one's looks like it's struggling to respond. Sunlight, rain, unequal heating, tilt, right? So we'll come back to this and keep practicing it, and then your book addresses each one of these. So unequal heating of the Earth, those atmospheric convection currents, and knowing what they're each called. Knowing about that rotation and the Coriolis effect. These are all hyperlinked to visual videos, and they're also on your Ed Puzzles, so you can watch them. And some demos that we'll be doing for our See, Think, and Wonder. And a lot of you had this one, the Earth's tilt in orbit. And then a few of you had this topography, knowing about things like the rain shadow effect, what happens when you're surrounded by an ocean to your weather and climate. So ocean currents, as well as air currents, are in this chapter. All right, so we already said this word, but before we move on to composting, the percentage of incoming sunlight that is reflected from a surface as a name. You can set up really simple experiments with this one. There's all sorts of cool stuff you can do that are on YouTube that you could do for See, Think, and Wonder for some lab points. Name 2 of the 3 reasons why the Earth is not heated equally. So why are different regions of the Earth being heated to different amounts? Addis, I'm going to show you some examples of what you guys can do for makeup lab points next live session. I put a bunch of hyperlinks onto the See, Think, and Wonder document that we're going to do in class. And then I just found another one that had like 5 different activities as well that I'm going to add. Why are you not in class ever? My own children always wandering out here. They should be in class. All right, so let's go with what you guys wrote. Tilt and orbit. Tilt, different parts of the Earth reflect the sun differently. Okay. Tilt the Earth curve. Now that angle, right, of the sunlight coming in, whether it reflects or absorbs. And actually, one of the things is the urban heat island effect we're going to talk about when we talk about some city stuff. Right? When you have different surfaces, they can actually create their own weather if there's no vegetation. And we saw that with the clouds in Haiti. All right. So we're going to talk about your groups now in composting. So I saw all of these. I saw the angle of the sun's rays, surface area of which the sun rays are distributed. So smaller surface areas over the tropics, and some areas reflect more solar energy than others, which is this albedo effect. So today, when you guys get into your teams, there are a couple tasks that I want to hear you sharing and see you sharing. So if you look on your week at a glance, let's see if I can make sure I'm sharing the right thing. I'm not. There we go. On your week at a glance right here for today, it says composting times. You're going to screen share on these things. So if you got a 10 out of 10 on your FRQ, I want you to share on Google Classroom your FRQ assignment. Okay, that doesn't mean you earned all 10 points. I'm talking about you got a 10 out of 10 in Skyward. Okay, so share those screens and then share your book creator title page. If you don't, weren't able to access the library, I can give you the other code because the other 2 codes are now saying it's full. So those 2 things, and then you're going to get to your composting document itself. So then you're going to talk about what kind of investigative question. You can see over here where it says on demand, building compost system. Add question, prediction, and start doing our materials and deciding on what design your whole team agrees on. So again, those kind of 3 things: FRQ, feedback sharing, book creator title page sharing, and then getting into your composting system discussions again. Are there any questions before I start arranging you back in your breakout rooms to do those things? Or do we just do them in the calls? Oh, on Google Classroom. No, you're just doing them so that when I pop in and out, I see you sharing them and practicing screen sharing. But they aren't actual like assignments in Skyward. I think that's what John was asking. Okay, so let's look. I'll keep monitoring that chat box. If you have questions, just let me know. And I'm going to, why did it, just a second. I forgot to do manual, so it had you all mixed up. Okay, so I see Lorelai, Audrey, Mina, room 1. Mia, Luke, Tyler, room 2. Oh, you guys do this so much nicer than first and third. Laura, Isla, and Shiva, don't tell first and third. That is not nice. Jason, Heather, Maddie. Man, some, oh wait. Okay, some numbers just appeared. So I will move some of you. I see Nan, Adith, Vincent, Ryan, Arab. Why are there 5? Something's wrong there. I will come back to group 16. Let's see here. Gavin, Jason, and Thomas. Putting you in room 5. And I am Vivian, room 6. Nan, Edith, Vincent, Brian. I might have to move one of you. And John and Leo, room 8. Right, I'm gonna open the rooms and then there's a couple of you that I'm going to have to put, it looks like, into your, okay, other rooms. You're just sharing your FRQ in terms of what it looks like so other people can see. There's a few of you still losing points on those. Where are, okay, so Jesse, you're a 12. So let's find your group. Your group is group 1. Okay. And Savannah, you're in room 3. And Emilio, you're in room 4. Ashley is 18, so you're room 6. And Joshua, what number, who are you with? Like who's in your team? Joshua, are you around? I need to know which group you are a part of.
Yes, I am here.
So who's in your composting group?
Oh, John and Leo and Enzo.
John, you, and Enzo. Okay, that's room 8. And then I know at least, so it should be open. Ashley, are you with Vivian and Maya?
Yeah.
Okay, so it says that you just haven't joined yet. And Arab
I should be in breakout room 2.
in 2. Okay, I will move you. Should be open. All right. Let's documents. How's this group doing? You guys hear me? Oh. Oh, you're trying to check. Alrighty. I will come back.
My favorite animal is spider crab. My favorite activity is video games. My favorite book is Jurassic Park. My personality is INTP, and the score that I'm hoping to get is a 4.
Okay. Do you guys?
Yeah. So who wants to go next?
Wait, I thought that Savannah was going to show her book.
Oh, should I show my book? Okay.
Yeah, since you already shared your FRQ, that way we can have it in order.
Okay. 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 This is my book. It's like rats. I like snowboarding. And my favorite movie is Wolf Walkers. Cool.
I can go next.
Yeah.
Jason, did you get kicked out? Can you hear me?
Yeah, my Zoom crashed.
Okay, which room are you in? Or supposed to
I
be?
was in a room with Tommy and Gavin.
Okay, room 5. Let me put you back in there. Should be open.
Never do the work.
Probably do it, but like, do you trust me around power tools? That's the question.
Okay.
Aren't we just making the thing,
Okay.
like
So we have.
Well, okay.
So we have to update it with our investigative question. Do we have one? We do have one.
We're doing moisture, I think. Yeah.
Right. We decided on that last time. Fantastic.
Okay. Are we using a
Prediction materials.
yeah. Are we using a container or are we using the chicken wire thing?
I think we agreed on the container because like it
Yeah.
rams.
Yeah.
I think we
Okay.
agreed on that.
Great.
That can't-
Materials. What do we
wait,
need?
where is
We
material?
just need to make a hole into a bin.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see if I even have a
That'd be
drill at home.
Oh, perfect timing. Hello. We were wondering, are we supposed to be in the part in the composting project where we're supposed to start building the actual composter?
Yes. So you should be figuring out which design you all agree on and then doing your question prediction and your materials this week.
Okay.
Did you guys already share everything?
Yes, we shared our FRQ.
And your book creator?
Oh, no, we didn't do that.
So yeah, go ahead and make sure everybody gets a chance just to practice how to share your screens and that you share your book creator title page.
Okay.
Okay.
But we're not supposed to be like physically building the composting thing yet,
Um,
right?
You will, not right now, not today, but yes, by Sunday, I would like you to start building.
Okay.
Oh, Mrs. Roberts.
Yes.
So do we only have to make one composting bin for like all of us, or do we each have to make one?
You are each making one.
Oh, okay. And also, do you know what happened to Enzo?
What?
Do you know what happened to Enzo? Like he hasn't been here in a while.
I do not know.
Oh.
I have not heard, but we're having our magnet meeting tomorrow, so that's when we kind of talk about all of you.
Thank you.
Find out what's going on.
Thank you.
Okay.
Is that the question about Enzo?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna. Tyler's asking for help, so let me know. if
Okay,
guys
thank
have
you.
any questions. Uh-huh.
Okay, so I just wanted to call you in because I wasn't able to make it into either of the libraries in time. So I was wondering if you could just tell me the other code.
Oh, yeah, the other code. Let me go see if I can grab it for you, and I'll put it in your chat.
Okay.
But yeah, I have to go open that app, so I will get back, or I'll send it through the announcements. That way, everybody that still needs it will get it at once.
Okay.
Okay. Did you guys already share your title page to your book creator?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Let me go do that right now. How's this group doing?
We're doing pretty good.
Did you guys share all your book creator title pages?
Yeah.
And did your group decide on a composting design?
I don't think we did yet.
Okay. So did everyone in this group get a chance to screen share?
Yeah.
Who was that? I heard a yeah, but it didn't light up. Was that Ashley or Maya?
It's me. Also, my microphone might be kind of weird. Does it sound kind of crunchy right now?
Nope, it sounds normal. Oh, now it does.
Oh, darn.
It was really good. And so are you two not able to use video? No? Yes. I'm not, oh, I don't have my video on. Mine mute or turns off every time I go between rooms. Oh, there's a message. Second. Oh, so you can, you just don't like to. So I don't like to either, but we all have to get used to it. Our school is going to start pushing it. So we have 2 more months of this. So there we go. There's Maya. I see Maya's. I'm going to know your guys' eyebrows and foreheads. I guess when we have masks on, that's pretty much all we'll see anyways, right? So you have to at least show from here down. Okay, good. I'll let you guys get after sharing compost designs and deciding what you're going to build, because that's next steps. Let me know if you have any questions.
Okay, Mr. Roberts, so you can see my screen, right?
Yep.
For the photographs, those
Mhm.
are photographs of the actual composting bin, right?
Yep.
So does the bin have to be like something like this, or could it be something like a jar?
It's completely up to you guys. I do recommend that it not be that it be a bigger jar so you can get a lot of air in there and enough heat going that it's going to work.
But a jar is allowed.
A jar is allowed.
Okay, so if I get a big jar, I can use that.
Okay, thank you.
Mhm.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Uh-huh. Welcome back. If I could find my mute, where did it go? There it is. Okay. Just want to talk briefly about what I look at when I'm scoring, kind of the steps I take when I look at your guys' composting documents. So your screen should be showing you my gallery of your composting projects, at least from the Google slide that I start from. So I see several of groups are still coming in. So I'm gonna, who should I pick on? I only have 2 minutes. Which group? Which slide should we pick on? I don't have my chat box open, so I can't even see if you guys are giving me any suggestions. Right, well, I'm going to randomly pick. Let's say that I want to check on this group, right? So I click on here. I'm going to always click wherever you guys have linked your actual Google Doc. And then I go up here first. So this is like my first steps. This is just a way that I can go through and check contributions and look at the dates that I've given you to contribute and work as a team on this. Now, obviously today you had a lot of other things to do too. So your entire team might not have gotten on here. But what I want to see is that on these days where we are in a live session, that they look like this day, November 13th, where I see everybody on here that you have on your team. And then the other thing I do is make a little list. Just so I say Vivian, has edited and worked on this, and then I count how many times. And then I also have to check, because some of you I realize do work on it longer, but just for a single time. So I try to look at that as well. So this group looks pretty good because I see all three of them on there working together. So the more of that I see, the better that I know you're doing that one part of your rubric, which is the exemplary collaboration and communication. So I am out of time. I just wanted to make sure you guys saw kind of the first steps of what I do when I'm looking at your documents and scoring them for those composting project checks. I will hang out and answer any questions, but it is now time for advisory. So you guys have fun with Miss Abe doing something called Picture Perfect, I hear. No questions? I will hang out if you guys have any questions. Otherwise, tell them to say hi.
Thank you. Have a great day. Also, Lorelai reminded you
Thank you.
in the chat.
Okay. Do that right now.